Yeah, let me start recording too so I don't forget. But give me 3 more minutes. We're gonna get started. But I think do. Yeah, we should be good. Yeah, so just 3 more minutes. I'll be right back. Just 1 more minute, and then we're gonna get tonight started. But thank y'all for coming on if you can make it. If for some reason you gotta get off early, don't worry. It's recorded. Make sure of it so I didn't forget. And give me 30 seconds. Alrighty. How y'all doing? Can y'all hear me? Type a one in the chat if you can hear me. Just want to make sure 'cause I had switched over to my earbuds. Type a one in the chat if you can hear me. Check, check. One, two, check, check. Hey, hey, hey. Perfect. All right, welcome guys. Um, so I'm Naomi. I think a lot of my followers came. Well, I've had followers for a while, but I've been trading. If you haven't like known me for a long time, people forget that I was broke before I had money. I have a very simple background. My mom, she single mother of three. I'm the oldest of three. Grew up very young. And then I made a name for myself, basically, is the moral of the story, Um, everyone has a story. Not everyone, but some people have a story about how childhood was terrible, and that was kind of my story. I wouldn't even say it was fucking terrible because it's made me who I am today, and I still have a close relationship with my parents and stuff like that. But I just kind of made a name for myself in the world, and it really started with day trading. I used to work in the restaurant industry, right? Used to serve tables. Never would have thought that I don't know. I don't think I ever thought about really getting rich. I really just thought about getting settled in, situated. And then it's like the longer that I have the as long as I've been, I would say retired, it's like the more time I have to think about actual real world stuff, And it's just like even back then, just thinking about when I grew up, I remember my mom being like, 30 in her 30s. I remember her becoming 30, 31, so on and so forth. Type of two in the chat if you can still hear me and you still following me. Um, but it's just like we either, when it comes to our parents, we either agree or disagree with the way that we were brought up. And then once we become adults, it's our responsibility, to go from there and either do it the same if we liked it or do it differently. So it's really like we were taught trial and error at a young age. But to think about, well, some we should have been taught at a young age, right? And I think that's why trading is so hard because everything about trading goes against human nature. We are risking money in order to get our time back. And when I used to serve tables, I used to basically risk my time to make money. But the more you invest in assets, even while you're at work, or the more you invest in the skill set, even while you're at work, it's almost like you're giving yourself a head start at life, if that makes sense. Type of three in the chat, if that makes sense, right? So that got me, honestly, into investing. My first job was at like Journey's Kids, but other than that, like I think I told my mentorship, like I tried to get a job at Walmart when I was a teenager, and shit didn't work out, and I always was salty that they didn't hire me, and but it obviously worked out for the best, but I'll still be salty about that. Like, you tell me I'm not good enough to work at Walmart, right? So I'm like, whatever. But that's what it come down to. Like my mindset back then wasn't thinking of everything that I've thought of and have created and have accomplished over the last, 6 to 8 years, right? But it's like at the end of the day, even being where I am and where I am now is where most people would love to be, because it's like I put the hard work in all through my 20s, and I didn't know what would come of that, but at the end of the day, I could say that I've mastered my 20s just because of the results I got from my 20s, which my master of the market got me into different, hard businesses as well. I call them the hard assets. I'm mostly a digital investor. I enjoy risk. I'm very risky. I'm very how do you say? I mean, I'm high risk. I'm very confident. I'm confident in myself, and I believe I can accomplish anything because there's a lot of things in this world that can't be accomplished, and that's what I've done. And I've taught a lot of people to do some amazing things. So at some point, it's like, all right, you know, not to toot my own horn, but y'all have some amazing students. Either my students are really amazing, or maybe the common denominator is me being an amazing teacher. But that's only because I went through the trial and error period, right? So I was a self-taught teacher. I started with like IML, but I was with them for like 2 months, right? And that was like me interested. And I want to tell y'all the backstory just because like a lot of y'all don't know my backstory. A lot of y'all know me now. You're like, oh, Naomi got money. She got cars, she got cribs, and then sometimes she got niggas, and sometimes she buy niggas shit, and sometimes she cussing people the hell out, right? But either way, I'm consistently profitable at every stage of my life. Even it's funny is I would say before we begin on everything, trading itself is like a very spiritual journey because we are really trying to break self, and people got to think about trading itself as a tool in order to get money faster. So really, when I talk about jobs, trading itself is nothing more than a high-paying job. Type of one in the chat if that makes sense. Because if you do not invest your money in assets over a period of time consistently, that's going to keep buying, or I'm sorry, bringing value to your life or appreciating, then you will consistently have to trade. And I say that because I used to be there. I used to have to consistently trade, and it used to be a time to where, I couldn't just take days off in between. It was a time where I felt like, I had to trade every single day. And if I didn't trade, maybe I wasn't gonna make the rent, or maybe I wasn't, gonna be able to pay my electric bill. And for a while, even before I started trading, there was times where I had Green Mountain Energy back in 2017, and I put $5 on the electric bill, and my power went out every fucking day. So that's why it's like I've been rich and I've been poor, and people say it's lonely at the bottom. Or it's lonely at the top. It's lonely at the bottom too, because it's just like all I remember back then is just grinding and working, and I didn't have no side hustles. I wasn't teaching, and I didn't start teaching until I made my first million. So it's just like for me, I didn't know how long it was gonna last, and my learning curve was 2 years. But because I was the trial and error route, my learning curve was a lot longer than my students. I have some students like I had this one kid named Austin who I think he was in Pennsylvania, and he didn't have a dog to his name, made money in signals, got mentorship, and then 9 months later became a millionaire. And his wife actually almost divorced him because of that situation, but they're still happily married together. But it's almost like I saved the marriage. So it's like I'm a counselor, I'm a business owner, and I'm really just helping building for the world. Like the one thing about me is I feel like I have to share my purpose. Like I have a purpose in this world, and it might not be something that I'm always thrilled to do, but it's something I'm fantastic at, and it's something that comes very easy and natural to me. So it's like if I don't know what my future looks like, but I know it's gonna be great because I am consistent day to day, right? So when it comes down to it, if people want to make $1 million a year, right? And the blueprint was You say you just live a good life. You go to the gym 1 hour a day. You don't eat fast food. You eat protein, high protein meals, vegetables. You can have maybe carbs twice a week. You spend time with your kids. You take them somewhere twice a month, and you educate them, say 2 to 3 hours a day, because their education is coming from their parents. And if you meet all that criteria, then at the end of the year, say the word was like, okay, I'll give you $1 million at the end of the year if you follow all these rules. Then it sounds good and easy, but it's going to be the consistency of doing it every single day, every single week, every single month that's going to get people as to why they're not going to get their $1 million at the end of the year. Type of two in the chat if that makes sense. So really what we looking at is, consistency. Hang on. What's going on? 1 second. I'll be good. So I mean, you gotta have consistency. So it's like win or lose. When I was a new trader, like I understand, I understand like not making profits, but it's like I'm a lot more profitable faster because like people say it takes your first 100K is it's hard, right? But to me it's like I've done it a few times, but it's like every time I do it, and I say a few times, I mean a few times this year, like, but every time I do I get faster at it. And that trade in particular in July, I know that's what everyone's here for because it's just like that's probably one of the most amazing things that I've done, and that's what I like. So I'm always trying to defeat that goal. So because I didn't have access to millionaires back then when I didn't have any money, I would go to YouTube and I would try to learn from them that way, right? Because I wasn't even on the internet like that. I just wanted to change the way that I live. So eventually I had to turn my life around, make different decisions, hard decisions. But I was at that point to where I was at rock bottom, what I consider rock bottom. Even those people that may have had it worse off than me, I never lived in a Section 8 or nothing like that. But I dealt with a lot of mental illness in my family, and I became an adult at a young age. But it's like I'm not a person that likes to go tit for tat on who had the worst trauma in their life. I'm more of a, hey, this is what I'm good at and I hear what you want to accomplish, and I'm a very nice person, right? But I believe that I can accomplish anything in this world, and since birth, honestly, everything's always really just worked out for me that way. But I don't know if it's manifestation, law of attraction, but I also have it's no one thing to have faith, but it's nothing not to have the work ethic towards it. Day in and day out, I'm on these charts, and win or lose, I'm on these charts because this is going to be the fastest way to get money. You know, my kid's dad, he's learning how to, trade for me too. But he tried a demo account because he blew, his real account. But he tried a demo account and he's like, it's crazy how fast you can get to a couple $100,000 the way that you trade because it's honestly safer. And it's like because of the trial and error route, I went through all of the hard paths. I went through the nails in order to get to the easy answer. And the easy answer is to use the rules of the market against each other, against itself even if the market sometimes doesn't always follow the rules. Type of three in the chat if that makes sense. Because like this class, you guys are my signals group. So I kind of want to keep it real life with y'all the first meeting because I need y'all to kind of understand the relationship of this market versus the relationship, as one me back then and me now. And kind of why I trade the way that I do. So now so I started out as kind of a scalper, right? And then I moved more into intraday trading once I was becoming more profitable. And then I was a swing trader as of now. But at different points of time throughout the day, week, or year, I use all three, if that makes sense. So a lot of the industry, they spend a lot of time trying to put someone in a box and say that you choose between scalping, intraday, and swing or position trading, and I choose all of them because at any point in the day, week, month, year, I have to use it, or decade, I have to use it. And that's what it takes to be successful. So that's me following that rule. You know how I said if you follow A, B, C, D, you get $1 million at the end of the year. Well, that's part of my A, being able to show up every day, win or lose. Because if I don't show up, I'm not making money. But once I make that money, right, in the market, so say my big trades, the smaller account bills that turn into the 6, 7 figure accounts. I can't be crazy. When it comes to these markets and especially these brokers, I trust them as long as they're gonna pay me, right? So I always have to find a way to put money in assets at another rate. But that's how I trade. Trading and investing is the same thing. You're just trading a lot more often that then you're going to be touching your investments. Type of four in the chat if that makes sense. Because when I first started trading, I was thinking, and this is me as a server, right? Broke server. I didn't have no money. I was making money fast. I was at least making it in most restaurants $50 to $100 a day on the days that I worked. But at the same time, I had a newborn, and at the same time, I was me and her dad had just broke up, and at the same time, I was on food stamps. I had wig, all that shit. I was getting fired from jobs. People hate me now. People hated me back then when I was broke too. But now it don't matter. You know what I'm talking about? So it's just like time and time again, time tells all. And the longer I stay on top, the more I think about things. Of it's like we are the most important people in this world, right? Because think about all the bills that I had back then, and me putting $5 on an electricity bill because I couldn't make $300 at a job, even working a job and going there, or keep a car because I'm going to work all the time, but the bills are too expensive. At some point, and that's why you guys are here. You guys are here because you made a decision also that you want to progress further into your journey because whether you like where you are or whether you just want to progress and whether you just want to grow and know you're here for a reason and you chose to sign up with me, even if people that's not here, you chose to be here for a reason because I got the best results and you want those results for yourself, right? So you can't let this market scare you because it's very intimidating, but the rules are very simple. Most of the things we're doing, mostly what we're doing is looking at patterns in the market. And when I say we are looking at patterns in the market, you guys are my signals group. You guys don't even have to look at patterns in the market. The people that have to look at mostly the patterns in the market is going to be my mentorship group on Mondays. But I'm looking at the patterns for y'all. But when I'm looking at the patterns, when I'm looking at the market, I'm looking for a pattern, and it's only two different patterns the market's been given since 2019. I started trading in 2017, and I watched hella people between 2017 and 2025, year after year, month after month, day after day, shit, can't get their shit together because they can't get their head out their ass. And I used to be one of those people. And as you can see, I do have a lot of ego and I'm very impatient, but I'm patient with the market. I don't have ego with the market. I remember thinking this market was trying to take my $20 back then. Ain't that crazy? Talk about 500 shares. That's insane. I thought that market was coming out my $100 account back then. That's all I had to my name. But it's like once I mature, I realize that I'm just in the wrong fucking trades. Do you feel me? Because at the end of the day, the market is right. It's right. So if we follow the rules of the game, of the rules of the market that's already right, we're gonna be right too. And that's what I've been doing since 2019. And I have not changed any way that I trade since 2019. I started options. I trade futures. I made my first million in Forex. I've gotten into a lot of, hard businesses, I would say, like, hard asset business, real estate, Amazon automation. I'm get ready to get into vans and stuff like that, and kind of work out something with a buddy of mine. But it's like, it's important to me to have money in all places. And it's like, if I'm good at making the money and getting and putting it into the world, now, since I know how I am, but let's see, let me tell you what I said something like that. Since I was a kid, even when I had nothing, every single room that I walk into, I'm coming with something in my hand because I live in abundance even before I realized what abundance and manifestation is, right? Because in order for me to get from serving tables, possibly giving up my kiddo for adoption because I'm broke as hell back in the day, is I had to, my mindset had to jump. Does that make sense? I couldn't be me now with the mindset I had with me back in the day, but that had to come with me being willing to change. That had to come with me being willing to grow. And it's easy now to be like, hey, she got it, so she can take $100 loss. I ain't got it. I feel you. I feel you. I feel you. But ain't nobody better to teach you than somebody that had to work all the way fucking here. And that's why I get spectacular results. There's only two things to look at in the market is we are buying the market and we're selling the market. There's no third option. There's a lot of consolidation in the market, right? But you guys don't have to worry about that because that's my job to worry about that. When it comes to the signals, you guys, you're just entering the trades as I say buy or sell. Really, I try to take setups that are very like high target setups. Like I want it to last a longer period of time. Even though the market's moving, the market moves 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, depending on the market that you trade. Yeah, we options and futures, if you want to get into that mix, are not open all the time. But when you think about it with crypto, because I trade crypto as well, and I trade Forex, and Forex is 24/5 and crypto is 24/7 and I trade the other markets, there's an opportunity to trade all the time. But if I don't stick to a set of rules that I give myself and give my students, then I'm gonna be fucked up. And in the beginner, I was fucked up all the time. Like I remember like my first year and I was actually in IML at the time, it was 2017. I would buy gold at 7 o'clock just because my dumb ass needs to make money. It don't make no sense, right? Because now I know about price action and fundamentals and stuff like that. Like I don't pay attention to fundamentals. Type of a six in the chat if that makes sense. I don't pay attention to fundamentals because that's news. But if I align myself with the market enough to watch and pay attention to the technicals and understand and believe that it's only two setups the market is giving, and I have to find the correlation between the time frames and between the pairs in order to make money, trading becomes very simple. This is nothing more than bargaining. Um, Say I want tomatoes and somebody want potatoes. I got a potato, they want a tomato, we gonna switch, right? Because everyone's gonna find value in something. That's how the currency pairs work. So when we're looking at, say, hang on, let me see. I was gonna draw a line, but I ain't even got my keyboard today. I'm just talking because I think talking it will be better and it's gonna be a lot faster because there's a lot to say rather than writing it down. So I'm gonna just say the pairs all the way out loud. Type of two in the chat if that's cool. Even if it's not cool, that's probably what I'm gonna do just because it's gonna be better for y'all. So I was like, I don't have my keyboard today. But I didn't want to show y'all charts right away because I didn't want to scare y'all, but I wanted to ease y'all into it, right? So my mentorship class, I'm not a person. I'm not real cuddly. Now I lay up, right? But I'm not cuddly when I'm teaching because it's not my job to be your friend. It's my job to tell you what you need to do. And a lot of people don't know what they need to do because, they just don't know it yet. It's not their time to know it. You got to meet the right people. And now God has placed me in y'all life, and I'm the right person because I've done the right shit. Even if it's not the right shit at the right time, we got to understand and be okay with the timing of the market and the timing of this world is going to be the time that it's time to do it, if that makes sense. Because if it was up to me, I'd be worth 100 million already. I'd be worth 50 million already, right? When you guys, when you who don't want 50 million? Type of three if you don't want 50 million. Type of one if you would love 50 million right now, right? Now, the only thing stopping you from getting to that point is going to be your consistency, your discipline, and your willing to go further, even when you taking losses in life. Whether you getting evicted, you can't stop because even when we take L's, even if it takes you out the game a little bit, you can't stop looking at this market because the longer you stop looking, the longer price is going to move. And now you're confused, even though some people don't know it's the same two setups that's been going on for the end of time. This shit, it's been the same two setups since 1785, 80 BC, all that shit. It's been the same two setups. But people are so bullheaded and want to tell the world something that they don't understand is just two setups in this market. We buying or we selling. Just like there's left and right, there's buys and sells. Now, this is the analogy I told my students with the three types of traders, because you guys are new, so I want to kind of give y'all the background. So with the three types of trader, the scalpers are going to be the traders that are more in and out. My scalpers, typically, depending on trader you talk to, the definition is going to be that you are in the market for a short period of time. Typically, scalpers are in for 30 minutes to an hour. I've never seen a scalper be in more than 2 hours, right? So, but you quite literally have to hold the trade for as long as it takes for it to work out. And that's why I would say I'm all three. But even when it comes to scalping, I don't scalp the best. When it's a scalp, it's not something that I meant to do, but I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh, I'm not gonna take no 20K just because I got it in 5 minutes, right? So you guys you guys want to grow and this is just day one, and I don't want y'all to be scared on, okay, like I want to better myself, but I don't know if I'm up for the challenge. There ain't no better money than trading. I'm not saying it's gonna be easy, it's really hard, but honestly, the signals is good because you get to make money and follow me. Now we was up this morning, right? We was cooking for a little second, then we got cooked. They like boiled us like a goddamn pot of seafood boil. I'm like, I don't even know if I want no seafood boil no time soon. We got cooked so fast this morning. I was like, God damn. I turned my head for a second. I'm like, what the fuck? This. the hell happened? It's like, and next. But that's what I'm saying, right? So I could very easily save face and start with a big ass account so my shit not getting blown like that. But then at the end of the day, y'all shit just getting blown like that, right? Type a three in the chat if you feel me. So it's like I'm successful enough to not give a fuck about blowing $100 account because if I'm telling y'all to do it, I'm gonna do it too. And I know I'm fucking capable of doing it. So when I do it, and then people then lock the hell in early, like y'all locked in, then they fucked. Cause I ain't starting that shit again. Hell nah, ain't finna laugh at me blowing these accounts again in front of hundreds of people, thinking I'm retarded. I'm like, I swear I know what I'm doing, y'all. I promise you. I promise you I've been on top a long time. But it's okay because it's embarrassing. But guess what? You finna blow them in private too. You know what I'm talking about? So when it came to that account in particular, the one from the summer, I just keep writing out because I've done a couple accounts, but the one this summer is the easiest one to explain because it was just something that was new to me. That side of trading I've only been doing for a year, right? But my year for that is like y'all's year, except I was coming into that side of a different kind of trading, like a higher frequency trading, as a newbie, but I was coming with experience. So I'm never at a point where I'm starting over, right? There would never be a point if I lost everything that I would have to start from zero because one, I have knowledge. Two, I have a network, and three, I could trade anything in this world. So, so if I'm able to do that, I know that's my gift to the world because I make it very simple. And even if you can't make it simple, I know that I have been trading long enough to where you can follow me, and I can at least get us to get bills paid at the end of the month. Because my goal at the end of the day is going to be to work with entrepreneurs. You guys, some of you guys are entrepreneurs, some of you guys are not, right? But it's like my mindset is if I'm making this money this fast, and the hardest thing in the world is people to make their first $100,000, and it comes easy to me, why don't we just follow me, right? And I'm not saying that I'm going to make 100K every month, every 2 months, every 3 months, but I try to do it at least twice a year. I've done it twice this year. I want to do it every month. I want to make 1 million a month. I want to be a billionaire. But until I get there, I still have to take the same steps. Even with losses, I still have to take the same steps. So when it came to that account in particular, like I blew 10 accounts, $100 accounts before I got to the 100K, right? 65K to 75K of it came in 3 days. So that's $200 to 65K in 3 days. Technically, it was $200 to 75K. That shit dropped from 75K to 50K. I said, oh, hell no. Well, I was done with that shit. And then I saw that shit bounce up to 65K. Geez, I closed all them trades out. I had 1,000 trades open. But that's coming from me trading with confidence. If you're not confident, if you're scared, that means you're just not doing enough homework. And I'm not saying you have to study like me because I study every single day for a year. I love studying. I homeschool my daughter and I tell her because she's a kid, she got her opinion about school. She don't got pulled out of school because her mama don't act right sometimes. And I was like, I got the chicken. Don't play with me. I'll pull her out this motherfucker and pull her right the fuck out. But it comes with like how you say a sort of relaxation of I'm in sole charge of her life. So it's like I'm in charge of y'all life. So y'all want it this way I'm in charge of her life, and what I want for her is the same way y'all want for y'all kids, y'all family, y'all grandkids, and y'all parents, whatever your situation is, right or wrong. Type 4 in chat from right. So it's like we have to master this side of things. So we talked about scalpers. Let's talk about intraday traders. Intraday traders are in and out the market. Typically, I would say 4 hours to about a day, day and a half, right? And it sounds crazy to even think about, but how do you say? You have to hold the trade for as long as it goes, right? Because as a new trader and looking at Forex, I'm not thinking about it's trading a bar. Right? I'm not trading. I don't know about trading a tomato for a potato, right? But then I see these currency pairs and I'm all confused and I'm trying to figure out what GBP is, what's USD. GBP is nothing but the Great British Pound. USD is nothing but the dollar y'all have in your pocket. Type of one in the chat if that makes sense. So if you got a dollar, you already participating in Forex. You just not making money in it. You a part of it. You the reason I'm making money. Spend that bread, Frankie. But that's all it is. So it's nothing more than a little bit more studying every single day. The same way we tell the kids, and kids learn really fast that we teach them how to ride a bike. They really should have taught us this at a young age, but they didn't, and now it's our job to be in charge of that for ourselves and our families, right? It has to start from somewhere, and that's where this conversation comes full circle of this generation roles have to start from somewhere, and you guys are here, and I can tell that you guys are similar to me because you're here right now. I know it's Wednesday night. I know that most people are trying to get rich quick, but you guys are here on Zoom with me. Most people, they're still serious about it. They probably have to work or do other things. I totally get it. But you guys are here with me. You made sure there was nothing more important tonight than being here. And so you're gonna be caught up. You ain't got to play catch up. So give yourself some props too for even being here because that's showing me you taking it seriously. So I'm proud of y'all too. Um, but how do you say? Well, let me explain the scalper. No, I did scalper, I did intraday. Let me explain a swing trader. A swing trader is someone that will hold for a long period of time. Typically, swing traders might hold for 1 week to a month. Now, it's crazy to even say that because I used to not be able to fathom that when I used to trade on the 15-minute chart and the 1 hour chart when I was a new trader. And earlier today, I just told y'all that I used to trade gold the same time every single day for absolutely no reason, only because I thought in my head, as someone that wasn't making no fucking money, and don't it sound crazy? As someone not making no money trading, I'm like, I want to make money the fastest way, so I'm going to use the 15-minute chart and the 1 hour chart to make money, knowing damn well I don't know how to read a chart, I don't know what a pair is, yada yada. Who is Britain? What is a dollar? Oh, this is the dollar. I'm working my ass off for, so on and so forth. So we don't have to do nothing but familiarize yourself. The signals is mostly just Simon says. But the GBP is just the Great British Pound. AUD is the Aussie dollar. That's going to be Australia. NZD is New Zealand, right? New Zealand and Australia, I ain't gonna lie, I can't remember if they're on the same side of the world, but I'm pretty sure they are. I'm not a fucking geography teacher, but I trade and I know they got the same economy. So I'm gonna go with they got the same economy because they trade the same to me. But honestly, they so light of a pair to where you don't see me trading them as often as you might see me trading like commodities, oil, crypto, so on and so forth. But they're just as important. I started with Forex because honestly, I don't know. I started with Forex because that's what was introduced to me. And I just kept going with it. My first trade ever was $1,200, and I only had an $800 account, but I didn't understand what lot sizes and stuff were back then, so it was confusing to me. What you all saw me do today, what was we loaded up $100 account on your Forex broker. If you're using the Forex broker I told you to use, then you know you have minus FX. Some of you guys have Plexi like me too. But Plexi doesn't take new US residents, and so on and so forth. But we'll get into that in another class. Um, Let me say, so it's like what I did when I send it to signals, when I start building a small account, is I like to scale in and kind of test the waters with a point on one. So that's why y'all see me stack the point on ones, right? And then next I hit the account with a point on five. The point on five is really just 5 point on ones. The point on one, y'all keeping up with me? Type of 2 in the chat if you keeping up with me. It's gonna sound like a little confusing, but like I'm just saying it so y'all can familiarize yourself with the terminology. You know what I'm talking about? Because I know it sounds like Spanish. I remember exactly how I felt when I was starting out, but I didn't have a community to work with. And if I did have a community to work with, they didn't know what the fuck they was doing because them niggas suck. I wasn't making no bread with them. I had to go read a book to make some money, bro. And the book I started with was Naked Forex. So I read that book. I didn't know what would come of it, but I knew I made $1,200 in 5 minutes, and that was the fastest amount of money I ever made. I just never quit. I never gave up. But that was me, because of my curiosity, if that makes sense. Type of three in the chat. You got to be curious enough to keep going in this because losing bread, to potentially possibly make some money and potentially possibly be rich. I don't know. It's kind of hard for a lot of people. I definitely get it, right? But I've made at this point way more than I didn't come in life with shit. So yeah, obviously made way more than I've ever had. But I've also made more and helped more people. Like I donated to a college kid that was having issues with his FAFSA not too long ago. But I have to set those boundaries because someone like me that has an unlimited amount of money, especially I've always said even before I have money. That's why I have it. I've always damn, I'm over there breaking shit in my house. And somebody dropped the lamp. Either way, I'll go yell at them in about 20 minutes. um, what was I saying? They broke the lamp in there. What's it called? But even then, it's like I had to have that mentality and mindset to go ahead and get further. So I gave college kid 2K because he was having issues with a house issue, so he had to get an emergency apartment. And but it's like, but that was in August. So between now and August, he's not doing nothing to better his life. Not only did I give him $2,000, I put him into course. Now from there, once I put somebody in the courses, and I'm good about it, especially if I meet you in person, because I remove myself from a situation quick. I don't even tell people I meet in person that I trade, and they don't find out for a long time because it's just an awkward conversation to have. Because at some point the conversation is disrespectful because I'm making 5 to 6 to 7 figures, 7 figures a year, but 5 to 6, sometimes seven in a week, in a month, and that, it just depends on the situation. But a lot of trading, it just fucking depends. So you got to be okay with not knowing the how in the market or the why in the market or the when in the market. I'm just capable of seeing a pattern on the chart, if that makes sense, type of two in the chart, if that makes sense. And then I make money off of trading that pattern. The pattern is only a buy setup or a sell setup. And mostly, like I'm naming off all these pairs earlier, but matter of fact, let me stop naming pairs because y'all don't even have to worry about that because I'm calling pairs in the signals for y'all. Only thing y'all need to understand is that we or the dollar itself is not, I wouldn't say it's a liability, but we're trading assets. At some point in time, the dollar becomes an asset and all the actual assets drop. So when we get the zigzag movement in the market of buying pressure and selling pressure, oil's ass. I think I'm still in that oil trade, but oil ass need a whipping. That was crazy. I was like, we was looking good. I'm thinking I could chill, having a good ass day. And I said, where my shit at? Crunchy banana. I'm gonna make up some code words for us too, because I'm gonna make it fun for y'all because I don't want financial education to be fucking intimidating because you need it. And people that quit it, they swiftly come back like, hey, you was right. I know. And shit else out there but working for somebody. And it's the more the world gets inflated because at some point everyone's gonna be a millionaire, but they're not gonna be a millionaire because they became one on their own. Type of two in the shaft, you can still hear me. They didn't become a millionaire because they became a millionaire on their own. They became a millionaire because inflation's so fucking high and they can't afford shit. That means the dollar gets inflated. We done seen since 2022 how eggs and milk and we saw in 2020 how houses got inflated. We saw in 2020 how cost of living, 2022 and 2020 how cost of living got inflated. So now it's time for assets to get inflated as well. The market works in rotations and we're doing nothing more than buying and selling assets. I am buying and selling assets and you guys are following me. So all the hard work from y'all and the signals, I'm doing all the hard work already to the best of my ability to where I ain't trying to look retarded in front of thousands of people, and I say I make all this money and I don't play to lose. So I'm very competitive and I don't want to do nothing but win. So I'm a win and I'm not always nice about it either, but I'm gonna make sure we gonna win. And at the end of the day, that's what it take. You know what I'm talking about? Type of three in the chat if you ready for it. So trust me, I completely get it. We trying something new. I'm trying not to even say too much to scare y'all because I'm 8 years in, but I gotta hit a throwback for myself and like, hey, how was it as a new trader? Like I be popping off, but I'm patient. I gotta be even more patient, even when people being dickheads. You know what I'm talking about? I just quick to hit them with the dickhead response too. I'm just like, I just came off hiatus. I don't need this shit right now. You know what I'm talking about? Because I do want to help people make money. I do want to help change your life. And until y'all get the skill set down on your own, I have the skill set. So I'm gonna help you guys get there. So I'm doing nothing more than buying assets at a low value depending on trend. Trend itself can be bullish or bearish, if that makes sense. But that's for me to be focused on. You know what I'm talking about? I gotta focus on that. You guys are not focused on that in signals. You guys just have to buy and sell and then just do what I do. I don't use stop losses or take profits on small accounts because I that's what it take. I'm gonna just leave it at that. That's what it take. Type of two in the chat if that makes sense. I in the beginning, and this is why I'm saying this is where it's hard for me to explain because I'm telling you this is what it take now, coming from the experience of I had a way that I was trading back then, which was I was more intraday because my goal was to catch 50 to 100 pips at a time, right? Stop losses, especially when I'm full margin in fucking trades all the time anyway, cause $50 to $100 is not fucking shit to me because what I think of $100 I'm thinking about an ounce every single time. So every single time somebody say $100 to me, I'm thinking, boom, ounce. So the 100 is going to an ounce, or the 100 is making 100K, and then I can still get the ounce, and I still have $99,900. You feel me? Type a two in the chat if that makes sense. That's for me though. My 100 is going to an ounce. Some people 100 going to food. Some people going to bills. Shit, I could tell you everything that costs 100, but we're not gonna go through all that. The 100 gets spent regardless in my head, so why not take a risk at it? I'm not a person. I wouldn't say I was always this risky, but when it comes to these accounts, I used to trade a way that I've always been profitable, but it was slower. Now I'm trading at a way that I've sharpened my edge so many times. Um, I can do it faster. So I want to teach y'all the fast way, right? Because let's take it. I was trading with a friend in July, and his thing was, like I said, we blew 10 accounts before we got to that big account, the 65, 75K account. But the main thing is we blew so many accounts before, and I wasn't I was blowing it. And I was loving that nigga account. First off, I wasn't blowing it. I would take every single account to $1,000. So take 10 accounts, and I took every single account to $1,000, and then I blew that bitch. You know what I'm talking about? Because I wasn't taking a profit. But I'm coming from a way, and that's what I'm saying. I'm trying to meet y'all in a nice middle, because Naomi, with 8 years of experience, is saying there's a better way to do things, and that's what I was going balls to the walls doing today. But it's because I'm bold and I'm confident and I'm right. And I've done enough work and I'm right. And I do work every day and I'm right. Every single day is going to be an opportunity to grow and educate yourself. Even retired, I educate myself more than most, and it's hard to get people to want to learn something new, but you cannot progress in this life at all without learning something new. Now, charts, we're gonna talk about the setups and stuff next week. I still got 15 minutes. But what I do want to say is, like, just be patient with yourself. And I am my hardest critique, right? Because I want to be the best. I'm very, very, very competitive. I've been like that since I was a kid. And but shit has always just worked out for me. But I didn't even realize until thinking about that the other day that even back then, my life was already in motion before I knew it was in motion. Everything else was just up to me to be, one, patient, and two, make the right decision. Type of three in the chat if it makes sense that the life you want gonna require patience. Because, like I said, if it was up to all of us, we'd be at 50 million. And if it was up to me, I would have had that fucking account at 100K today, because I would have took the rest of the quarter off. I would be like talking mad motherfucking shit. We know I would have been. But hey, now I'm just like, all right, I blew my shit. I have to eat that L. I have to eat the fucking L in public. But just like I'm eating the L in public, when we hit seven figures on these accounts, and when I'm starting to charge $1,000 for business owners next year, because I'm a trader, but I'm a business owner. I am a businesswoman. I am a mother, and I do all of it good. Sometimes I'm a girlfriend. Sometimes I'm a wife, and I do all of it good still. But sometimes niggas don't like me in the process, and that's okay. But I've been in real estate. I didn't do the best in real estate, but I know where to critique myself there. But I've been in I've been in Amazon automation. Amazon automation, it was pretty good. I wouldn't do that shit again because there ain't nothing like trading money. But it's like, as a business owner, okay, I'll say this too. I started my first C Corp this year, right? And the C Corp makes it even. The C Corp came in May. And then I did a 100K trade in July because of my mindset of the whole thing. I do nothing but educate myself. So when it comes to trading, you have to believe the story. You absolutely have to believe the story the market is telling you. If you do not believe the story the market is telling you, you will be fucked up. And I promise you that, because for a very long time I didn't believe the story the market was telling me, and I'm like, no, fuck that. You're selling. And I said, oh, I'm selling, huh? I'm finna sell your ass to the rest of your job because you ain't getting no pips today. That's what the market telling me. And until I decided to stop fighting with the market and fucking educate myself the right way, because people think just because you studying 1,000 hours, just because you studying 1,000 hours don't mean you studying the right shit. So you really studying the wrong fucking way. And that's what I'm saying. I know a fast way to get rich, and I know a slow way to get rich. Yeah, in my course, I talk about the way that I got rich. I got rich the slower way though. So when it comes to crypto futures, that's my fast way. That's my fast way. But even when it comes to crypto futures, because of what I've been doing on that side, it's done nothing more than sharpen my edge on trading Forex because it's the exact same shit. The same way I trade crypto futures is the same way I trade Forex, it's the same way I trade options, it's the same way I trade regular futures. It's the same way. So I'm consistent across all markets to where if I'm entering the same way every single time, I am a consistent variable. Look, this is science class, y'all. I am the consistent variable class. And when that market doing some bullshit like it did today, I said that shit ain't got nothing to do with me. On to the next trade. But all jokes aside, I'm going to be very careful with you guys' money because I know it's hard, in the beginning stages of building the life that you want. And of course, I'm not here to make anyone I'm not here to try to make anyone shit. I was getting evicted and shit. I'm not trying to have that happen to nobody because I was blowing my shit when I was a new trader. I didn't know what the hell was going on. I was not trading right. And then but it took me maturing as a trader to know I was fucking up. He said I made like 300. Oh, that's good because I don't know. Everybody was yelling at me today to where I'm just like, because they really could have just fucking took profit. I'm just like, I'm like, ah, there's a fast way to get rich and there's a slow way to get rich. And that's what, oh, my bad. See, welcome to Naomi's Mind. Naomi is scatterbrained. That's why I really be recording everything because I'll jump from one idea to the next idea to the next idea. But then I'm like, okay, I'm 8 years into the future. I gotta pull it back to the past so I could tell them in the past what I did to how I got to this conclusion in the future. But I'm really trying to do it in like an hour. But I could talk all day about this because this is my life. You know what I'm talking about? You gotta kind of low-key make day trading like a part of your day. And in the beginning, it's gonna be hard, but as the money comes, you're not gonna want to do nothing else. Hey, I made like 300 though. Hey, that's fire though. I'm glad some of y'all made money because them niggas, they pissed me the hell off. I was like, I locked the hell out and took a shower, smoked, and was like, all right, I'm back to normal. But it's like I don't want to be hostile because it's like the way that the everything works is when I got that C Corp, it made me understand how people like Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk work. Type of two in the chat if you with me. So Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk, they pay themselves in stock, right? And then how they get stuff, like loans with the bank, because the way that people get scared in the market and start trying to sell all their assets and stuff because they're like, oh my God, the market switched. That's not how the business owners work. Like, think about every time you work at Walmart. You know how many times I done seen Walmart start fucking fall off the sky? I'm like, damn, I'm Chicken Little. I'm like, damn, I wonder when this gonna stop. Gonna stop, please, please, please stop. And it's sometimes it just never stop. But year after year, I'm still making more money. So we making higher highs and higher lows at some point. So if in the market we only looking at higher highs and higher lows and lower highs and lower lows, then you think about it over a long period of time. The concept is the market and long-term investors win. That's just the way that I trade. I always try to find a reason to make something an asset, whether it's the dollar, or whether it's like an actual asset. Now, me thinking like a billionaire and trying to become one myself, I have to execute the way that they're executing. Therefore, I gotta have that C Corp set up because I'm coming after the tax game. And because of the tax game, how that's set up, that's why the market is the way that it is. The way that the tax game is, you're trying to find a way to pay as much, as little as possible back to IRS. Type 3 in the chat if that makes sense. So if we trying to win and not pay nothing to them because what they're doing for the bread, then we need to be strategic with the way we approach this world, which is we need to find a reason to make something an asset, and we need to look at things from a longer term perspective than me as a new trader trying to look at the 15-minute to 1 hour chart because me as a veteran trader and making way more money, way more stuff, still crazy as hell, but I'm set. That's why it's almost like I'm crazier because I'm like, all right, I'm cool until I'm like, all right, like the. I would just say I had like an issue with some cops like not too long ago, and me and my dog was just sitting in the car hanging out. I guess where we wasn't supposed to be, but we was supposed to be there. But then two cops walked up to the car, and then me and my Bluey, my dog, we having a great ass conversation with them. I'm not thinking nothing wrong because Naomi can't do no wrong work. Life works out for me. I'm not gonna lie. I have a great life, shit work out. But that's only because I did all the hard work. So it's almost like is it getting easier or am I getting stronger and more confident and more knowledgeable? So I have a three in the chat, if that makes sense. Life's not getting easier. I'm getting more confident. I'm getting more knowledgeable. No, sorry, knowledgeable. I'm getting stronger every single time, every single time I'm getting stronger. So it's like when it comes to that situation, I'm so confident to where it's like there's been situations in my life that I've never approached that situation before. And there's been markets that I've never approached before either. But because I know that I am a consistently profitable person and I know that I do the hard shit, like I eat the same food all the time. Like I eat breakfast burritos, I make those breakfast burritos myself. I eat very clean and I take care of myself. But now that's just because that's my job now. My job now is to live a good life. My job is to teach people. My job is to create jobs. So it's like even in my 30s, I'm trying to figure out, say, okay, all right, this is what I did in my 20s, Amazon, real estate, blah, 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 boom, boom, boom. So now my 30s, what do I do this decade? That's a good problem to have because the problem I had in my 20s, my early 20s was how the fuck are these bills getting paid? Right? So it's a good problem, but that's coming from my mindset change. My mindset had to change for me to be who I am right now. So you guys' mindset have to change for you to be who you want to be. If you want to be like me, then yeah, your mindset have to change. But if you don't want to be like me, well, your mindset still got to change to whoever the fuck you want it to be. But it don't matter. But as long as you consistent every day and approach every day the same way, it's gonna be good. So I'm gonna try not to blow no accounts, of course. Hang on, let me think back. I'm gonna make sure I'm not missing nothing. Oh, the cops. So they talking about we talking about dog. I'm having a rep conversation. I just don't reason a lot of them like, hey, my dog, I got a puppy. His name is Bluey. At the time, his ass had worms. And then I'm sitting outside my ex house. Same ex I was finna go to jail for last year, but it's a whole nother fucking conversation. We're cool, we chill, we hang out all the fucking time. But you know how them relationships go. We both got protection orders on each other and shit like that. Either way, we hang out all the fucking time. Cops don't like that. They tired of our black ass. My lawyer said, "She say so tired of you. One of you, I ain't going. I'm just dismissed, so he gonna have to go." But we broke up either way. Hey, city girls up, y'all. So type of two in the chat. If you could, I can do anything in this world, even if I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I'm gonna do it. So thing is, I'm having a record conversation with them. They stopped my car twice, but I'm sitting there parked the whole time. I'm sitting there parked the whole time. They come the second time. I was trying to get crunk. I'm like, hold up now. I look like a little regular black lady, but hold up now. I got money. Don't play that game with me, officer. I was like, man, officer, we were just having a nice, wholesome conversation. Don't make me call my motherfucking attorney. I know it's 3 o'clock in the morning, but let me tell you something. Oh, she get paid. She finna answer this motherfucker. Just like in June. They're like, what do you do? And they don't understand that until I have to throw my weight around. But I don't come into life or into a room trying to throw my weight around because that's not what it comes to. But I am not taking no shit from nobody because I done already did the hard work. I done already went from 0 to 100, and I'm trying to go from 0 to 1,000, 0 to a trillion, bro. Come on now. And that's what you guys want. So I just wanted to take this Zoom to explain mindset to you guys to kind of relate back then to right now. And the way that I am right now is I want to be a billionaire, so I started my C corp. But it was been time to start that C corp because the only thing, really, the primary, what I pay attention to in order to have that one is 500K plus a year. I should have been half that, but I wasn't ready to have that, and that's what I'm saying. Timing. Everything I've done for the last 10 years have built me up to the moment of now. All the profits that you see now is from the $100 accounts I was trading back then. All of the fucking investments you see well, Merrill Lynch kicked me out, but Fidelity, Merrill Lynch, shit like that, that's coming from me planting them seeds back then, so on and so forth. So even though I may want things fast for you and I'm gonna try to get it as fast and safe as possible. But I don't want to. I can't change anything about the way that I trade, and that's why I'm saying what is necessary and what is not necessary. I know a very, very slow way to get rich, and it took me 2 years to do it, and I know a fast way. Look, I made 100K faster this year than I did my first 2 years. I'll tell you that much. Type of three in the chat, that makes sense. So it's just like I get stuck in between sometime because yeah, if I take like when I told you about that 100K trade, if I take the every 100 to 1,000 as far as gains, I'm not gonna be able to get to that 100K if that makes sense. Type of foreign chat. So that makes sense. If I keep taking the small money, I'm never gonna get to that point. But I'm also not against the fact of I know that everyone is not in a position to where they can't not take the small money. But that's something that for especially my seniors, y'all have to figure out on y'all's own until y'all get into the mentorship because I I care so much is why I have to end up pulling myself back from a lot of stuff and a lot of relationships in my life because I have to have that boundary with people because I'm a person with an unlimited amount of resources, right? So if my resources have no boundary when people ask, and when I ask for something, their resources have a boundary. Well, my shit is unlimited. So typically the same boundary people have for me is the same boundary I have for them because I have to copy it. You know what I'm talking about? And it's like the more money I make, the more I realize who I am as a person. If I'm really good at this making money part and looking at the trades and stuff part, I'm I'm good at working with my private students and people that already know where they want to be. But it's sometimes, and I'm not trying to be me. Sometimes it's a little bit harder for me to work with people that don't know what they want. So sometimes, I need y'all. If you don't know what you want yet, your homework tonight is just to figure out what you want, and that's why I wanted to not do charts tonight, really, because I didn't know if we was gonna have time to do it because you guys are new to where it's like if I show y'all too much, y'all gonna be scared and y'all gonna leave. I'm just like, look, it's not as scary as people think. It's just patterns, and y'all don't have to pay attention to patterns. I done bought businesses with money I done traded with $100. That's why I want to work with business owners because if business owners typically have a funding issue, and most startups have a funding issue, then they need to learn how to fix their funding issue because banks they not as easy to manipulate as they were back in the day, so on and so forth. But honestly, I could really talk forever. But other than that, just be patient with yourself. And y'all homework is to just figure out what you want. And even if you know what you want, go further, right? I always thought I knew what I want, and every single year, I would think I would run out of stuff to do and say and think about, but it's always something to do in this world. And what my mission is now is, and really what I'm going to do over the next decade is I want to work with business owners, but even in that, like that's only going to build my network closer to the business owners as well, to where I can have a chance to opt to and be in business with them too. You know what I'm talking about? Invest in businesses. My developer was actually a doctor, like Grey's Anatomy, right? Real world. Y'all seen Grey's Anatomy? Type of four in the chat. Y'all seen Grey's Anatomy? Y'all know Meredith Grey? Y'all know Derek Neal? Y'all remember how we used to have, projects that they would need people to donate on? Well, Doc, that's my guy, and he about to cure cancer, right? And he, he's a genius. He didn't help me with all the bots and stuff like that, so. Like what we both did basically is what we did is invested into each other's equity of the future. Type of five in the chat if that makes sense. So it's like we building that friendship while we're both, like my friend, we're in our 30s. I just turned 30, he just turned 30. But he got a full ride PhD because he was consistent and mastered what he wanted to do in life, and I'm consistent. I master what I want to do in life. Now we both do different things successfully well, right? But now it's like in the future, he's gonna always have me as an ally because when it comes to these medical projects that need to get invested in, hey, he know where the bread at. I'm definitely down for it because he didn't help me so much in my 30s. I want to be able to help him when he need. And then shit, it's like he cured cancer, I cured cancer. It's like you got a network full of successful people. I got a friend in the trucking. I got two friends in the trucking industry. One do trucks, one do vans. And both of them I talk to, and both of them I'm just like, what can I do to get a piece of the transportation industry without me being in the transportation industry? You know what I'm talking about? Because like I said, I'm the money. I'm good. I get the bread. But that's something that, but everything I've done in my 20s brought me to this moment. If I know what I'm good at looking at the patterns. Aubrey, I noticed I noticed it not too long ago. I noticed it when I started pulling her out of school. She is good at recognizing patterns, right? And she do it with numbers. But that's my job. My job is to strengthen you guys' your Achilles heels. If I'm a swing trader or intraday swing trader, and my trades last days to weeks to months at a time, and you a scalper, just go in and out of my trades. You just gotta time yourself because I believe in timing the market and having time in the market because that's what's gonna bring it to a perfect harmony of getting that crazy ass money. You know what I'm talking about? Sometimes I get it faster than others, and sometimes it takes longer than other times. But every single time, I'm appreciative of the gift the world gave me. But other than that, just be patient. It's nothing more than economies. And if you got $1 in your pocket, you're already participating in the Forex industry. And Forex and crypto and stocks and all the asset classes, all of the brokers, Merrill Lynch, Fidelity, TD Ameritrade, Thinkorswim, all them, everybody, bro. They all doing the same shit we doing, and we just doing it faster. Every time I walk into the bank, they're like, "Can we take it with you accounts?" I said, "No, I'm not gonna pay y'all to do some shit. I'm doing better anyway." And y'all always closing my shit. Fuck y'all. Like, no, y'all not touching nothing. You probably gonna steal my shit. Y'all probably thought the fucking check wouldn't fucking go through anyway. Y'all probably thought y'all sending me to jail. They joke on y'all. You want to talk about my Jesus? I want you to put that shit inside that account so I can leave. But just be confident in yourself. All the confidence, all your trading, all your and all your future endeavors, your success, your failures, all that gonna come from you being consistent at you practicing. And even if you practicing is watching one YouTube video or on mindset or looking at one chart every single day, that gets you into the habit of being who you want to be in the future. So your job is to build habits now for the future. When I look at my successful friends, especially when they're older than me, especially when I see they're good at something that I don't know about or something that I'm not good at, I want to figure out how to collab the two together. Because in my head, I know there's nothing bigger than the transportation industry, but the transportation industry is something I've always been interested in since my 20s. But the way that I would have did it in my 20s, but I learned from people's mistakes. That's how I got to where I am. Of I wanted to do semi trucks, but I've seen people do semi trucks and also semi trucks. But then I loved, and that's why I'm saying you have to. It not all advice is good advice, but I listen to all advice. But all advice is not qualified advice. You know what I'm talking about? Type of three in the chat. You know what I'm talking about? So it's like when I see my friends that's doing well in life, like the dude that I had worked like learned under, if I would have came at him crazy as hell, like he made no 300 million, if I would have been talking shit. They couldn't have taught me how to do nothing he was doing. We became cool because I respect the way he do things, and I respect his person. I respect the way he grew, even if I don't know even if I don't know him like that. I know most people online. I love being home. This is my favorite place to be. But most people I meet online, I respect the way they operate. And that's what, even if at the end of the day, if we blow 1,000 accounts, that's what you got to do. Respect the way to operate because I'm going to do my best to make a good name for myself. And in order to do that, it's going to be because I made us win and it's going to be I'm not always for sure when I take the risk that like I took today as spamming the accounts, but for a minute it was working out for us. What I would have did, and this is me critiquing myself, the way same way I critique myself is the same way in the future y'all gonna probably have to critique y'all, but like now I'm making a hard decision, so I end up being the biggest critique on myself when it comes to the trades. Of the only thing that I would change differently about this morning was maybe I wouldn't have put that 10 cent on oil that high, but other than that, I wouldn't have done anything differently. So now that's why I'm like, well, next setup. So I ain't saying we're not gonna blow no more accounts, but God forbid we don't, because I don't need that kind of embarrassment. But I'm gonna do what it takes. If I see it and I want to risk it, we really just trade in how I trade, right? But you need to take your life into account, and if you need the money, you need to take that. I don't trade with stop losses when it comes to the way that I trade because I'm building the account on the equity, if that makes sense. Type of 300 chat, if that makes sense. We almost done. So since I'm building the account on equity, then it's almost like I'm all in on the trade anyway. That's why I don't use stop losses and take profits when it comes to the point on one. Because me, I didn't had 1,000 entries, 2,000 entries on an account because I'm not scared of shit. When I'm right, I'm right. If the market is bullish, it's making higher highs and higher lows. And if I follow the rules, then I'm buying at a higher low. And if the market is not making, and if the market fails that, I was fucking wrong. Hang on. Ugh, I've been talking for days. But other than that, I promise you I could talk all night. I love this kind of stuff. But I'm gonna just give y'all some time to think about y'all life. Not think about y'all life, but think about what you want. That's y'all homework. Think about what you want out of this life. What's your end of year goal this year? What your end of year goal is next year? What you trying to make? I need y'all to have a 6 month goal, a 3 month goal, and a 12 month goal, and a 5 year goal and a 10 year goal. And you don't even have to tell me nothing about that. Just think about it, write it down, or however you do it. You know how you think. Just do it for yourself so you know what you're working towards. What I'm working towards this next decade is to create jobs for people. And that's why I want to get in the transportation industry. But people are always asking me for fucking money anyway. You might as well get 1,500 a load. You feel me? 1,500 on a week for driving this fucking truck because I don't want to drive. I don't want to do nothing. I don't want to do nothing but trade. I'm lazy. But because I'm so lazy, I figured out how to make the money the fastest way so that I can give everyone else an opportunity in this world. Because Amazon not gonna ever stop shipping packages. That's why I love my friends that's always striving to do stuff because when they good at what they do and they older than me, I know exactly what my future looks like without even knowing what their future holds. So that's how I am. Even when learning how to trade, I didn't go to college the traditional way. I started college and I was there for 1 month, but I had a goal when I went to college. I wanted that FAFSA money. I had no bread, I had no car. I said, "Oh, I'm gonna go to college, snatch that FAFSA up, and buy myself a car." Got a nice little Hyundai Elantra. See, that's what I'm saying. People don't, they don't even fucking know. I used to hide from Winter Center. They wanted their washer and dryer back. And back in 2017, I lived in an apartment on the third floor. I was scared to open the fucking door. Them niggas could not see in the windows, and I was crouched there like they could see me or some shit. Like they was really finna come in, but I didn't know back then. I was early 20s. But that's what I'm saying. People know me now, but they don't know me back then. But the only reason I'm where I'm at now is because of everything I done back then. Everything I done back then, I may have stumbled upon because of my curiosity, but I was so curious back then, the shit just never stopped, and that's where I ended up. So I'm glad to be here. It's a blessing to be a blessing. Um, People are annoying, but I never try to complain about that because I'm exactly where I wanted to be when I wasn't here. And I'm glad to be back. And I'm glad that I figured out a way to help more people and to build more businesses and to network with more like-minded individuals like myself because that's my goal. I told everyone for the top of the year, when I say I'm raising the signals prices, I'm not raising it on you guys. You guys are already locked into the signals at a cheap price. When it comes to the people I'm raising price on, it's gonna be all the newcomers coming in because by the time they come in, we should already be up about 10 bands plus. And I'm gonna say 10 bands plus, as in I'm 10 bands plus, because y'all know how some of y'all be now. Our goal is to make 10 bands plus for the signals group ASAP, but I'm gonna say by the top of the year, right? Because 10K is gonna change a lot of lives. But it's also going to people that is sleeping on the signals because I know how I am and I'm always working towards something that's gonna progress. I'm not gonna sit down for the decade. People dream of retirement, but I have a great time in retirement. But what I find fun is building, and I think that took me a very long time to figure out how to articulate myself that I enjoy building. I enjoy being a businesswoman woman. I enjoy being a mother. Shit, Aubrey be here sometime with me. My Monday class, y'all heard her. She right here. She be like, get that bread, y'all. And it's like, but even then, when I'm not working with y'all, I'm finding ways to implement to prepare her for the future. Because even when it comes to like my in-laws and my mom and stuff, this is a different generation. They're old school. We're in a whole nother generation. They're 2 generations away from Aubrey or shit, 1 or 2. You know what I'm talking about? And so it's like they don't necessarily agree with the iPad thing, right? iPad kids, and she's not an iPad kid because her mom at home all the goddamn time. But she's very smart to where, like, she'll find something. I only got to where I was because I was researching. So I need to like because she's homeschooled. You know how homeschool sometimes and how schools they try to put a safety thing on the device so they can't get to the internet. I need to while she's 8, I need to be able to mold her right into the right way because like how I say if you raise your kids, you won't have to raise your grandkids. And that's how I feel. You start them young because kids are at their smartest right now and they're way more capable than we think. We went to school, I went to school, we went to school because our parents had to work. I could have put her in school because I do enjoy my free time, and but I do discipline, but I don't have to discipline. She is not a handful. She know how to act, and if she don't know how to act, it's time for goddamn bed. You know what I'm talking about? But it's my job to prep her for the world, and not just this world. It's my job to prep her for the world that she gonna grow up in, and that's gonna include technology. I need to be able to show her how to use technology without being off topic. She sent me a video about school, what school stands for, and it was a funny video. She was joking, but I want her to understand what's good to joke about and what's not good to joke about. And her joke was, school stands for sucks. And I'm like, listen, school don't stand for sucks. You just not in school. Mommy's just very nice because mommy don't play with me. Mommy love her free time. Mommy quit the only reason you ain't school because mommy sometimes stay up all goddamn night. And for some reason, I just didn't want to go. And I promise you, I'll be up all night. And at 6:55, I will lay my ass down. And all she had to do was go to school in 10 minutes. I couldn't do it. But that's the plan. But that's why I'm saying sometimes the plan is different because God wants you to make a different decision. But you don't know that, and I don't know that. It's just what happened. But then after all the decisions made, I'm like, damn, that shit worked out. And that's why I say that shit always work out for me. But I'll leave it at that. And I recorded this. Let me make sure I recorded this. I'm like, I hope I recorded. Yep, I did. And we're gonna meet every Wednesday at 9 p.m. And it's just easier for me that way. You know how bedtime be. And I know y'all got kids and everybody got work and stuff like that. So I'll be like, oh my God, thank you so much for this blessing bedtime we got here today. But I hope I didn't scare y'all. Type a five in the chat if that makes sense. Don't forget y'all homework. I want y'all to figure out what you want. It's not bad. Because even at the level I am, I always want something. If there's nothing for you to strive for, you're not gonna strive for nothing. You're not gonna do nothing. And honestly, my hiatus, I didn't do shit. I was honestly kind of bored. I wasn't bored. I had a great time every day. I'm not gonna hold y'all. I had a great time every day. I should have came back in August, but I was kind of waiting for the right time, and it wasn't the right time. Shit, if I came back in August, I would have been looking crazy because August didn't do nothing for real. September didn't do nothing for real. I did okay for October, but it was really choppy after July. Like that money did not come as fast in August and September. Shit, a little bit October. It was there, and I had big trades in those months, but not every single day, every single week. Multiple days or weeks at a time was a big ass trade. You feel me? But yeah, other than that, just have goals for yourself because that's what you're gonna work for. And every single time you have a hard day trading, you just gotta remember, like I remember, I'm like, well, I'm finna be in charge of this world, and I'm not taking nothing less. And that's what y'all should walk into every day as because that's how I am. And we finna make a lot of money because I know what I've done, and y'all see what I've done. But it's one thing to talk about it, it's another thing to do it. So if my goal is to take 100 to 100K for myself all the time, then I should be able to take y'all there too, and that's what I'm doing by trading these small accounts with y'all, and then I'm not saying we're not gonna take no L's, but please only do what you can afford. And it just all depends. I'm gonna do my best, but it all depends. But other than that, y'all get it. Y'all have a good night. I'm finna post it for you. You said end of 25 goal, end of 26, 6 month goal. Yeah, let me repeat it again. So do end of 25 goal. You can say that's like a 3 month goal. So the end of 25 goal, yeah, just make it an end of 25 goal, and then make it a 6 month goal, and then do a um I'm talking about when it comes to trades, you my signals people. We're gonna talk about trades as it is, but when it comes to the signals, I teach, but it's different this time. My all my teaching for these charts and everything, are getting hard on y'all and stuff. Uh, yeah, I'll post a way to contact me once this Zoom is done. It's gonna be on Mondays if that makes sense. But other than that, I I would say I just try to just protect my mindset because it's the most important asset that I have right now. You know what I'm talking about? So it's just that one everything black and white with me of my mentorship students meet on Mondays. So I meet on Mondays with my mentorship students, and that's when I mentor. And Signals, I'm calling Signals in the group, but really it's hooked up to my account. So it's like it's nothing different than my day. So I really don't be, especially in the fourth quarter, having time. That's why I do it the way I do it. If I have like options listed on the site and stuff like that. So it's like that just helps me run my day because every single day there's always someone trying to get in contact with me. But it's like unless they sign up for those mentorships and stuff like that, that's how I have to divvy up my time because I only got free because I wanted, as you can see, to provide for my child. And And she was what I thought about before I even knew any of this was gonna come about, right? I just knew that I wanted to find a way because we had a nice white Chick-fil-A fan picked out and everything, man. I'm talking about my little girl was almost gone. So yeah, at the end of the day, people can't tell me nothing. You feel me? Because it's like I done already took all the risk, I done all the learning. Now it's just I'm at a period of my life when all I have to do is execute, but right or wrong, I'm gonna execute the same way I've been executing from 2019 because that's what got me to where I am now, which is free. I can't, I say self-made, but you know how that go with people. But I worked really hard to get where I am. And of course, I done met people along the way. But the only consistent person that's been in my life along this journey as to who I am now today is me. So that's why I could see self-made, but I could see why people say not. But either way, it don't concern me because, hey, I got the bread. But if you want to learn more and see like charts and stuff, because I'm very active in my mentorship programs, I got the crypto futures one that's available on the site, and I got the other one that's available on the site. But other than that, I have to, focus on getting the profit to the people in the signals group. And I have to focus on doing what I need to do in my day to day and building businesses. So outside of the resources that I have available, unless you sign up for those resources, it does kind of become hard to get in contact with me because I have to run it that way. Every single time someone distracts me or talks to me or wants to ask me something, it takes a time away from something else. It takes time away from my child and what she might want or what she might want to do or business that I'm trying to build or trades that I'm trying to make sure we ahead of the game on. You know what I'm talking about? The time got to come from somewhere. So unless you in those mentorships, like you guys are in the signals we hear right now, and look, I always overperform my mentorship. On Monday, we was on Zoom for 2 hours on Monday, but that's just how I never think it's gonna be like that. But as long as things, work out, I just do it. But I'm gonna show up regardless because you win or lose, we have to show up in life, and that's what it comes down to. So have goals for yourself. Don't be hard on yourself, and understand that we're gonna blow some accounts getting to the top. But once you get to the top, it's like all the shit at the bottom didn't matter. It's like, yeah, I didn't start with shit and I took L's along the way, but I've been up for so long, it's like it's kind of hard for me to remember certain trades unless it's like a really big trade or certain days in my life where it was a bad day or something like that. Because honestly, I haven't had a bad day in a long time. Like a bad day, like people would have thought, oh, what happened to me over summer was a bad day, but honestly, I was happy about that too. Shit, I got my case dismissed. I'm like, thank God, stupid ass nigga. I needed that case admits that shit was hard. I was fighting that shit for 18 months. But I like to joke, but I'm serious about money all the time. Either way, we done, y'all. And I'm finna drop this recording for y'all. Once it download, I should drop it tonight. But if it doesn't record, like finish downloading by tonight, I'm gonna get it finished. Now, people, that's for the crypto's features. It's I'm finna reach out to y'all in the morning, and then I'm gonna get y'all in the course for that one and get y'all in that group when it's all done and shit like that. Other than that, sorry for going a little over. I hope it all made sense. Type of one in the chat if that made sense. I hope I didn't scare y'all too much. But I wanted to make it kind of easy going, and then I'll go into we're gonna be looking over not charts, but looking over the trades we took. The only people that like go more in depth with charts is my mentorship. So you either in the mentorship or you're not in the mentorship. But hey, I gotta keep it that way. But I love y'all. I'll catch y'all later. And if I see anything in the market, I will let y'all know. Bye.